Okay, perfect. So the topic today for my presentation is AI and independent learning. Thank you again for the introduction. So let's start with the first question, why this matters. So basically, we understand that many students around the world struggle with mathematics. As a matter of fact, some statistics will show that up to 90% of students worldwide either struggle with math or they are anxious about it. They are not enjoying mathematics like they should. And so we're going to talk about how the hubs that Dr. Kayode is working on and the programs that can be started in the Transformation 2060 can help more students to love mathematics, because I believe that mathematics is beautiful and it's actually one of the simplest subjects if you understand how it works. So AI and STEM integration can provide a scalable and personalized learning, therefore giving us independent learners that can thrive in the AI age. So one of the books that I'm writing that will be coming out this year, God willing, is called STEM Excellence, from the scientific revolution to the AI revolution. That's the subtitle of the book. And in the book, I'm talking about the fact that from the 1520s, so 1524 to 2024, 500 years of math and science history. That's what I'll be discussing in my book, which will come out in about 2 months. Once that book comes out, Dr. Kayode, I would love to donate 100 copies to your program, and you can feel free to distribute it to those that would like to use it. And so that program is basically going to tell the history of mathematics and give us the tools to help our students become independent learners and to thrive. So how do we help to get independent? What is independent learning first? Well, independent learners can be people that learn at their own pace. They can solve some problems without direct instruction. They can set and pursue learning goals. They can use resources and AI tools smartly, and they can collaborate when needed. So independence empowers, but it doesn't exclude collaboration, because in the AI age, collaboration is very important. So just because somebody is an independent learner doesn't mean they cannot collaborate with others. As a matter of fact, some of the best mathematicians in history, they collaborated with other people. Now, I don't know if the teachers on this call have studied the life of Leonhard Euler, but Euler, spelled with the letter E-U-L-E-R, Euler, some people call him Euler. He's considered to be one of the best mathematicians in the history of math and science. And he lived from 1707 to 1783. One of his classmates, the name of that classmate was Bernoulli. Daniel Bernoulli is the one that came up with the Bernoulli's principle, which explains how airplanes fly. See, those two were very good friends because Bernoulli's father was the teacher that taught Euler and Bernoulli, the son. So notice that from that history, you are now beginning to see how the collaboration helped. Those kinds of stories, I hope, will help our students learn the importance of collaboration. But at the same time, both Euler and Bernoulli were also diligent students and independent learners at the same time. Vision. Why combine artificial intelligence with independent learning? Well, AI, one of the beautiful things, and I know you already had a presentation on AI from an expert from AI, but one of the things I see as a math educator is that AI will accelerate math learning for everybody if they know how to use it. So for example, last weekend, I gave AI an assignment. I told it to take a series of topics from counting to calculus 5 and create a website with PDFs that have examples and practice problems for every concept that is taught from primary 1 to SS3, from America to Japan to Singapore, all the countries of the world. I've had AI do different projects for me on this. So the AI now compiled all of it. It now made a website for me. And maybe at the end, I can share that with you to see what this looks like. But it's really amazing what AI can do as a tool. So if people have AI and they know what they need to learn, then they can move at their own pace. And so we want more and more people to learn how to prompt the AI to teach them or to give them examples. Okay, so together, I think that a learner who knows what to do and how to get help anytime can make great progress. What are 3 ways that AI can support independent math mastery? Number 1, diagnostic tools. When somebody goes to a hospital, they try to find out, they take their height, sometimes they take an x-ray. They are trying to diagnose what the problem is so that they can give very good solution to their problem. So AI can help with diagnostics. And we are building an AI assessment tool right now that will be coming out later this year as well, God willing. And so students will be able to take a diagnostic that tells them all the areas that they are weak so that they can become strong in those areas. Once we know where the students are weak, we then use personalized learning paths to show them the path from counting to calculus and beyond. My hope is that every child in Nigeria will have a database of all the concepts of everything from primary 1 to SS3 at their fingertips anytime they need it, so they can go back and forth and understand, if they have forgotten their certain principles like Pythagoras theorem, and if they need to go back, it's like we give them all of the new general maths, all of the understanding maths, all of those are now put into AI so that it can easily navigate them to where they need to go. And number 3, real-time feedback. Students will be able to receive real-time feedback, which can encourage mastery. Because if you know where you are failing in the concept, you can then improve by taking that real-time feedback. So what are some practical tools for teachers? So the Counting to Calculus AI pilot is coming soon. As I said, we're going to have a pilot phase, and we are looking forward to maybe collaborating with some of your hubs to try this application. So if there's any teachers interested in helping us to give students some of these diagnostics, there'll be a web application, and eventually there'll be an app on a phone and tablet. There's Khan Academy's AI. They have a plan as well. There's Socratic. There's different tools. Of course, ChatGPT can help with lesson planning and explanations. So teachers can ask ChatGPT, tell me 5 examples that can help explain this better to my students. And ChatGPT can give you those tools. So there are definitely a lot of practical tools for AI. And I'm available to help any teacher with any of those, navigating any of these tools as well. What is the Nigerian? So now I want to talk briefly about this Nigerian School of Mathematics that is actually based in the US, in Texas. So the Nigerian School of Mathematics is basically a vision to implement the counting to calculus framework that I've discussed. It will teach students basic arithmetic like counting all the way to calculus 1, 2, 3, and linear algebra and differential equations. Every student has access to these. We're going to do some STEM tournaments, AI-assisted mentorship and self-paced mastery. And it's based in Houston, Texas, but we're going to have events in Abuja, Lagos, and Jos, and hopefully in Ogun State one day. But the main headquarters is in the US. The reason why we started this program is because there are many students in America that are longing for the Nigerian curriculum. They want new general maths for their children because it's more rigorous. They want the rigor and they're not getting enough of it. So the Nigerian School of Mathematics based in the US is trying to solve that problem by providing teachers in Nigeria with the opportunity of earning some extra income by teaching for our students teaching our students in America. So basically from the comfort of your home, you can teach for our students, you can help our students in America because you have access to a rigorous curriculum. America needs more rigorous curriculum, and that's what the Nigerian School of Maths is about. So if you have any interest in the Counting to Calculus or the Counting to Calculus AI pilot or the Nigerian School of Mathematics, I'm more than willing to talk with you at a different time, except you bring it up in question and answer. I'm more than willing to answer too. So inside a STEM and a math resource hub. So imagine that we can collaborate with the efforts of Transformation 2060, connecting the resources here with the needs in Nigeria. What we can do is hopefully try and find some very good used laptops that are not being used because they've simply been, the person has upgraded. So I'm working on a plan that can allow for some of that transition, because in the STEM hub, we want all students to have laptops and tablets that have AI tutoring tools that they can refer to. We also want them to have access to our workbooks. So I've written a series of workbooks. There's 16 of them in the series right now. And these workbooks follow a series of textbooks that students can use to master concepts. So workbooks can also be a good tool in the hub. And this is just a recommendation. We can have some peer coaching area where a more advanced instructor can help. And that instructor will have access to AI tools as well. We can have math journals and problem-solving boards, chess boards, and then eventually we can even have some robotics and applications of mathematics in real time. So Ogun State teachers, what Ogun State teachers can start doing, I know you're already doing a lot, but let me just provide some support and encouragement. I think that using AI tools, of course, require cloud materials and internet. And so again, I'm really looking forward to talking more with Dr. Kayode to see how we can work together to get more support so that your AI tools can work to help your students in your resource hubs. We have some connections to a company that does fiber optic and cloud computing work, and I would love to put you in touch with them to see how it can help power the internet for some of your research hubs. I also want to look at assigning independent work. So I would love to see if the Ogun State teachers want any more training with anything related to AI so that you are doing all the training that people get in America. We want to give you all of that as well. And I will be coordinating with Dr. Kayode to see how I can help with that. I would love to help in any way if you need some math history materials to give your students inspiration, because students today, a lot of them need to be inspired to do, to thrive and to flourish in the AI age. Number 4, I would love to create mini math clinics inside each school or help with that process. And I know you're already doing that, but if there's any way we can bring in the inspiration aspect that we talk about using math history, we would love to do that. So we teach the history of math from the early times, from the times of the Egyptians building the pyramids to the present. We talk about people like Isaac Newton and James Clerk Maxwell and Albert Einstein and all these people that did work in math and physics in our curriculum. And then we want to encourage students to take good notes with math journaling. So we want to see, is there ways that the Ogun State teachers can provide support for whether it's peer teaching or teaching their students how to journal better so that they can now learn how to refer back to those notes. Those are things that we provide support for to different schools. Okay, so in conclusion, as we wrap up, we need to help students to learn to think for themselves. We need to make sure that students learn that collaboration is important, that it builds deeper understanding. And then we need to combine it with self-paced learning, group projects, competitions, and peer problem-solving circles. One of the things that I think is important is that imagine you have a student that has never been good at maths, but now they start coming to your hub and they start changing their attitude to mathematics and they start becoming very good at maths. That's one of the things that I would love to see for the students in Ogun State and all across Nigeria and Africa. My heart and desire in the next few years, God willing, is to see millions of children get quality education in mathematics and science and beyond. And I believe that Ogun State and this initiative can be a very key driver in this effort. Vision 2060. I think that we're living in a very interesting time because I believe that Nigeria can take first in this race. It's like a relay. You know, when you run a relay, you have 4 laps. When you now give that baton to the last person, that person can just run fast and finish. I think Nigeria can become one of the global competitive, one of the most advanced countries when it comes to math and science education. And we can work on that as we keep building hubs like Transformation 2060 is aiming to do. We want to help students to master math, complex math independently, to use AI wisely, and then to build and lead in the new digital economy. The wonderful thing again is that this is a new chance for every country to put forth its best effort. And I hope that Nigeria can do that in this new era. Let's help our students to become students who are leading at the forefront of math and science education in the world. So final call to action. I would love to equip every school with a STEM resource hub. Of course, we would love to start and supporting in any way we can the research hub or the resource hub that Dr. Kayode is working with Transformation 2060. We would love to train teachers to become learning coaches, providing them with tools to teach even during the holidays. We would love to use tools like the Nigerian School of Mathematics and the Counting to Calculus to guide student growth. You can think of the Counting to Calculus like the extra food. After somebody has had pounded yam and okra soup, we are now giving them another dose of chin-chin or meat pie. That's what Counting to Calculus can be for the Nigerian students. We will definitely love to talk more with teachers over time to see those that are interested in any initiatives to support students in Ogun State and potentially and beyond. I would love to raise 1 billion STEM-powered math fluent students by 2030, but I'm going to start with the first steps by partnering with people like Dr. Kayode in the project in Transformation 2060. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to now pause and take questions. Here's my contact, Amos at learningforexcellence.com. That's my contact information. And I would love to connect with anyone if you have any questions. And thank you so much for your time.